NBA Straya. How are you going? How are you? It's Friday, TGIF, am I right? Jeez, hate to be a tin right now. Here it is. Oh, there you go. Friday Tins with Jim. Love this. I'm your host, James Clements. I'm the editor of a good website called CodeBet. You can see my ugly mug on Fox Sports Lab NBA as well. CodeBet Daily, the Fox Sports Lab NFL show, all the good stuff. Here in Larry Armour Studios, hanging out, giving you the lowdown on all the ins and outs of the NBA while repping Straya a bit. That's what we do here. It's also a little bit of fun on the old NBA Straya, isn't it? Leave all the serious stuff to the nerds. Only 2 games today. Let's take a little bit of stock. See where everyone's at, and set up a big weekend, because it's a huge one. Big NBA Cup day tomorrow. We've got the NBA Straya Game Wraps. We've got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, New Mate, Spud of the Night, Than Lonzo Ball. We've got some Yeah Nahs. We've got the Unpopular Opinion of the Day. We've got Outback Takeout. Wait, Outback Takehouse. I've only done that almost 1,000 times. How did I screw that up? Well, we're serving up a flame grilled take. There is a Shane Hill Shoot Your Shot, Light 'em Up award. And previewing and picking every single game through Monday for you. That'll be fun. Seriously. And then we'll finish up with a Cooking with Bainesy. All right, let's get into it. Episode 987 of NBA Straya. Jeez. Let's go.
This is Joe Ingles, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. I mean, someone better. You better watch out for the attack of, I'm afraid of the NFL if you're the NBA. Because, you know how much this bugs me, right? The NBA go, no, we don't want to put too many games on against the NFL because the NFL's too popular. Yeah. No, with that attitude, NBA, you bunch of cowards. Come on, grow a pair. Have a crack. Not everybody who loves football, doesn't love basketball and vice versa, right? It's one of the weird sort of like Adam Silver cowardly lion aspects of the NBA that I hate at the moment, where they're like, oh, we can't possibly compete. And then the NFL just muscles them out of Christmas Day games, all the good stuff, and the NBA just roll over and take it. Oh, jeez. Not great. Anyway, speaking of rolling over and take... No, we're not going to roll over and take it, are we? Let's start the day with the daily. Whip around. Steve Kerr got stuck into his mate Draymond. That was good. He took it too far. Draymond was wrong. He knows that. It's a bad look in the 5 games it deserved. He did make a really good point, though, Steve. He's like, yeah, he kept hanging on. What's going on, man? Get off him. Draymond, let go. Yeah, 5 games, that'll do. I enjoyed that. Steve Kerr, you can just see by the look on his face while that altercation is taking place. He's like, not this fucking guy again. Jeez. God, I thought we were done here. The dude's got grey in his beard, and this is what's happening now. Seriously. Grow up, Draymond, you dickhead. Anyway, Mark Jackson. You might remember yesterday's thing where we talked about how, was it yesterday or the day before maybe, not calling games on MSG Network, and he came out, he's like, hey, mama, there goes that man. Don't trust things you see on the internet, including this. I didn't even take that job. It's like, yes, we all believe you, Mark Jackson. Noted truth teller and not at all a dipshit. Piss off, idiot. It was a very classic, they didn't fire me, I quit. In fact, I didn't even take the job in the first place. Amazing. I mean, what the hell?
It's a trap.
I guess it was Mark Jackson. The Grizzlies got granted a disabled player exception for Big Stephen Adams Brew for the season-ending loss of the Big Kiwi. $6.3 million, That's a lot, Brew. It's not actually his entire salary, but that's still pretty good. They got to use it by March 11. They probably ought to. But still, good on him. Paul George is getting fined $35,000 for criticising the refs the other day. He should be criticising James Harden for showing up more chicken wing now than man. But this was great. He said, I thought we played great. It's tough. The adversity playing through the extra 3, playing against the extra 3, meaning the refs. I thought they were awful, but the defending champs, we've got to play better. So many times I got hit on layups, 3-pointers. It was constant. Jump shots, getting hit, smacked on the forearm. It was a poor job. That's fine. I hate how the NBA is like, you can't criticize our refs. It's like, he's just speaking his truth, man. Where's Kyrie? Where's Kyrie in these moments, I ask? I'm a voice for the voiceless. Well, Paul George just said some stuff about refs, and you're awfully fucking quiet there, Kyrie. Old NBA Kanye. Amazing. But the NBA did also justify the pretty egregious $35,000 fine by going, yep, he does it all the time. Which I kind of liked. Meanwhile, they're just like, nah, Miles Bridges is cool to come back. So speaking of which, the Hornets came out and said Miles Bridges is eligible to return to our active roster on Friday after serving his NBA suspension. Bullshit! We are comfortable with Miles returning to play based on our current understanding of the facts of the recent allegations. Sure! Except for the simple part that the fucking suspension was bullshit. 20 games served. He wasn't contracted by an NBA team. How is that served, NBA? You bunch of fucking glad-handing dipshits in this regard. I hate this. And Miles Bridges came out and said, I know a lot of people feel some type of way about me being back and I understand it. Do ya? Do you really understand it? Because it sounds like you don't. It'll be a while before I gain their trust back. It's not our trust. It's everybody around you, you fucking moron. So I'm going to go out there and play. If I get us some more wins, people's perspective will change. Will it? Will it? Just go and read into the Miles Bridges stuff and you'd be like, I don't think winning a couple of basketball games is going to change my perception of this fucking piece of shit. Miles Bridges can go fucking jump. What an absolute hog shit kind of excuse for a bloke. He's fucked. Anyway, blow it out your ass, Miles Bridges. That is my official statement. All right, let's do some game whatever. Let's do some game wraps. Game wraps. I hate that fucking Miles Bridges situation so much. Seriously. I don't know, domestic abuse, the NBA go, it seems fine, we've suspended him, right? It's like, yeah, 20 games served in for a bloke who wasn't contracted by an NBA team last year is just absolute bullshit, in my opinion. Like, if you're going to have, 30-game suspension, serve it this year. At least that way, I feel like he's been punished. 10 games is a fucking slap on the wrist for that dickhead. So, yeah. Anyway. Game wraps today. Brooklyn lost in Miami, 115-122. Weird game. So, this was kind of cool, right? So, you got 2 games today. It means you can sort of just drill down a little bit, enjoy watching them. They go back to back. You've got the big hoopity-da ESPN shows and, TNT. No, it was TNT, but ESPN over here, obviously. But even TNT is like, we're not going to waste Shaq and Chuck and everybody when there's football on. And this cowardly approach in the NBA just really talk about doing a disservice to your early season product. It's like, we're going to do the in-season tournament. Look at these crazy courts. It's like, also there's football on, so we won't have any basketball. It's like, what are you doing? I fucking love basketball. Obviously, I love football too. Don't get me wrong. I'm watching them on both screens. That's how I roll. I'm the host of NFL Straya as well. What we do here. But still, this cowardly approach just fucking shits me up the wall. Because this was a really fun game, and it probably should have had more spotlight shone on it. And this is what annoys me plenty in the NBA. It's like, Brooklyn's not even interesting. They are fucking interesting. It's a weird team. It's a wonky team. Without Simo, without Cam Thomas, they took it to Miami. It's a weird matchup as well. And Jimmy Butler went, fucking not on my watch today. It was awesome. He smashed him. So the defensive ability of Brooklyn in this one is the thing that stood out to me the most because it was not very good. Miami, in terms of teams and the way they score and how they score, the amount they score, quite simply sometimes. The Heat, not great. After today, they're a little bit better. They actually have a positive point differential now. They've bumped their points per game just over 110. And for them to drop 122 on the Nets, you should hang your heads in shame. They had 95 through 3 quarters in this one. And most of it was because Jimmy Butler came out and said, we're keeping this win streak going, boys. And everyone's like, all right, Jimmy said so, we better. That and Duncan Robinson turning into Jimmy Neutron boy basketball genius again. How's that turnaround? The bloke had 26 today. I like to have a beer with Duncan because I just need some tins. 26 points, 6 of 10 from downtown. He was awesome. Bam had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 8 of 15, and they had sort of just enough from the bench, right? Jaime Jaquez was really good. Hit a really couple of big threes. Caleb Martin, rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. Hit a couple of threes as well. And Josh Richardson hit a 3, had 8 points. And it's kind of like they just did enough to back up Jimmy, who was incredible. He had 36, 5, and 3. It felt like he didn't miss all game. He went 12 and 19. But the big thing, like in terms of that defense for Brooklyn, they went and let the Heat, notoriously horrible at three-point shooting all the way through last year, right? All the way through last year. They went and shot 15 of 35 from downtown. That is just ridiculous. Ridiculous, I tell you. It's pretty crazy, right? So, good job, I guess. And the three-pointers attempted per game at the moment as well. If you're going to look at a team that takes a lot of threes, it's not Miami. They make 11.8 a game. And they are attempting 32.5. That's just ahead of Denver, who are missing your man Jamal Murray, ahead of the Bulls, the Thunder, who just don't have that many shooters. The Magic, which is a weird lack of three-point shooting because between Fultz, Paolo not like launching, Franz Wagner not hitting any fucking threes this season, seemingly. The Wolves not having much shooting. Pistons is wonky. Sixers, again, lack of shooting. Lakers and the Hornets. Like, they're firmly in that bottom, 10 of attempts. And to let them go and hit 15, it's like, what are you doing, Brooklyn? What are you doing? Especially when you got like these weird long wings coming out the wazoo. Like they're out there starting Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith. And it feels like if Spencer Dinwiddie just has like a slightly shit game, they just don't win. And he was pretty shit today. He had like a couple of assists, but it's weird how, well, it's not that weird, but his lack of scoring in a game like this where he goes 2 of 9. And Spencer Dinwiddie feels like the specialist of 2 of 9 shooting games, where he'll pepper those in every so often. He'll go on a tear, he'll be awesome. And then it's like, guess what? 2 of 9. And you're like, God damn it, Spence. Anyway, Bridges had 23, 7, and 5. Very handy all-round game for him. 16 for Cam Johnson. 3 6 from 3. He had a couple of moments early where you're like, if you could just get going a little bit more, this one might be all yours. Brooklyn didn't happen. Dorian Finney-Smith with the 3 made threes as well. 11 points. He loves kicking the shit out of the Heat, but they fall short just because outside of Lonnie Walker Jr., well, the fourth, that's not really junior, is it? Yeah, 23. He was awesome off the bench. But Dennis Smith Jr., Royce O'Neal, Dinwiddie, they just couldn't hit a shot. And it really sank them. 14 turnovers. They out-rebounded the Heat by 8. And they could never really sort of just get any stops. It was the weirdest part. If you can't stop Duncan Robinson, you deserve to lose. So Brooklyn dropped to 6-6. It's a tough loss. Miami have now won 7 on the trot. They're 8-4. That's ridiculous. But good on them. And then the second game, as predicted, OKC kicked the shit out of Golden State without Draymond Green because he's a moron. And Steph Curry because he's still got that knee sprain. So the Warriors started Cumbucket, Johnny Kuminga. God, I love Kuminga. He does some weirdly dumb stuff, but he does some fun, good stuff too. Yeah, 21-6 with 4 turnovers. 2 assists and 4 turnovers for Johnny Cumbucket. 15 points for Chris Paul. It's just one of those ones where you go, hey, he's hit all these threes today. He went 4 or 6 from downtown. He's got 8 assists. He's got 1 turnover, but they're getting cooked. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's because Klay Thompson couldn't hit the side of a barn. Thanks for coming, Klay. I've got 4 rings. All right, settle down, Klay. Settle down, mate. Just settle down. There's a guy who is not going to get the contract he expects next year. We'll talk about him again in a second. Wiggins was all right. He had 12 and 6. He had 5 turnovers, though. And he just couldn't hit a 3. And it felt like watching this game, it's like if Wiggins hits one of these, no, he's missed it again. They would have a really good shot. So he plays 26 minutes. He takes 13 shots, goes 0 of 4 from downtown. So anytime you can have 12 points on 13 shots, Kobe, you got to do it. And Dario, the homie Saric, he had 12. But look, this is the thing. Potemkin's still playing pretty well. He had 13. He was a minus 26, though. He went 3 or 4 from deep. Moses Moody, you just need him to also step up in these games. And he just couldn't quite do it. 5 of 11 shooting for the 12 points. Gary Payton II tweaked his ankle, so he only played the 8. Kevin Looney had 13 and 11 in 19 minutes because he's a weapon. Shot 6 of 9. Nice. But as a team, the Warriors end up shooting 40%. 16 turnovers. Yeah, if you shoot 10% worse across the entire floor for against the opposite team and you let the Thunder shoot 60% from 3, yeah, you're probably going to lose that game. That's right, the Thunder went fucking 19 of 32 from downtown, mainly because of Isaiah Joe not missing from downtown. But same with the Weet-Bix kid, Josh Giddey. He went 3-3 as well. You love to see that, 3 for free. It was like kind of, it really offset SGA having a pretty tough night of it. But Jim, SGA 24-7. Yeah, he shot 6 of 21. And it was just like one of those wonky ones where you're like, is that going to cost them? Is it? No. And Isaiah Joe stepped up and nailed all those threes, and they cruised to the win. 128-109. You're laughing. 13-10 for Chet Holmgren. Looked really good at times. Also just has these Bambi moments, right? Where he's like, Bambi on ice. Where he's like, whoop, 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 whoop. What am I doing? Fun times, though. He's awesome. Jalen Williams. They had just some moments where it's like, I don't want to play against like this Warriors team. It's weird, but they held it together. Isaiah Joe hitting 7-7 from downtown was pretty handy. He ended up with 23 points because he got 2 or 3 from the line as well. And Case and Wallace, very handy, 10-4 off the bench. Weet-Bix kid, 19-6. Good game all around for the Thunder. I expected them to win this against a Warriors team without your man's Steph or Dre, and with Klay Thompson being cooked without either of them. Here we are. The Warriors have now dropped to 1-5 at home this season. 1-5 at home. You might remember last year they went 33-8. They're almost there at the loss column already, and it's November 17. That's incredible. They're 6-7 overall. The Thunder moved to 8-4, and I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, let's fly through some awards, and then we'll just have a look at some of the standings and just sort of take stock of where we're at, which is what I mentioned at the top.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That is a knife. Jimmy Butler, 36-5-3 with 3 blocks. He did everything. This was a game. It's a classic Jimmy Butler game in the regular season where you just hope you don't get this game. And he goes, nah, I'm feeling it tonight. Check this out. Pow! And you're like, God damn it. There's no way we're going to win this now. 12 of 19 from the floor. 2 of 5 from downtown for a noted not 3-point shooter, Jimmy Butler. He carved them up. And that was probably the disappointing aspect for the Nets. Like, to just let Jimmy Butler sort of do what he wanted. With Nick Claxton playing a really good game. He went 16-6 as well. I forgot to mention that. 3 blocks. He was really, really good. But like Dinwiddie getting carved up, Bridges and Johnson, it just sort of felt like something was lacking. It just did not click at all in that game. So, bit of a rough one. Jimmy Butler just ran roughshod over them, and it's the classic Butts. That's what he does. He's going to get ya. 35 minutes, 36 points, 10 of 11 from the free throw line, 12 of 19 overall from the floor. That's a hell of a Jimmy Butler game. That's a knife. Like, that's the game where, look, I talked about this going into this one. Like, they can match up really well with Jimmy Butler. Unless Jimmy Butler goes, fuck you, I'm Michael Jordan reincarnate, which is what he does every so often. It's a tough one, I'll tell you. Honorable mention to Isaiah Joe for 25 minutes, 23 points, 7-7 from the floor. All of which were threes. Absolutely awesome. Who was Spud of the night, though?
Spud. It is Spud of the night.
Spud on. It's Klay Thompson. 1 of 10 for Klay. Klay's cooked, just saying. 1 of 6 from downtown. And that's kind of the big problem, right? Like, his cutting, the drives to the hoop, the easy Klay layups that used to, if the shot wasn't dropping, he could always sort of manufacture something. One of, a little baseline jumper, just a nice little cut, dribble, pick up, launch off his left leg, weird reverse hand layup, whatever. Just those nice little cuts. It's not happening. It's not happening at all this year. It's weird and it's funky, and he was easily the Spud of the night. Honorable mention for this one to Spencer Dinwiddie. The 33 minutes, as I said, the 2 of 9 shooting. He is just the same as Jimmy Butler is always good for an absolute fuck you moment. Spencer Dinwiddie will do the exact same in the opposite way. 2 of 9 shooting. 2 of 7 from downtown. Just, that's the thing that kills you with Dinwiddie. It's like you need the consistency. He's the perfect point guard for your team if you want them to go 46 and 46, and that would be 38. Good maths there, Jim. Thank you. So, it's a bit rough. No, wait. 46 and 36 equals 82. That was bad maths. Good job. The least efficient players in the NBA at the moment. This is the Spud leaderboard at the moment. Julius Randle with a 46.4 true shooting percentage. Cade Cunningham, 49.2. Jordan Poole, 50.2. Franz Wagner, hello, 50.6. Malcolm Brogdon, 51.4. Jordan Jeremy Clarkson, 51.9. Calvin Johnson, 52. Victor Wembanyama, bit of a surprise. Should be dunking everything, you giant Frenchman. 52.1. Fred VanVleet with 52.2. And Trae Young, 52.7. So they're the ones averaging over 15 points a game with the little worst true shooting percentage. AKA the Spud List. All right, who's old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's no mates today? Well, Dylan Brooks. What I didn't like about Memphis was that they allowed it so that they could get out of the woodwork, let all that get out of the woodwork, and then I'm the scapegoat of it all. That's what I didn't appreciate. I don't know. Maybe you're a dickhead and everyone hates you, Dylan Brooks. I don't know. Yeah, it made me the scapegoat. Yeah, because you're the one causing all the shit. That's not a scapegoat. That's deserving. Seriously, what are we doing here? Oh, I can't believe you made me the scapegoat. You did it all. That's not scapegoating. That's just putting the blame where it should be, you dickhead. And then, of course, the old mate, no mates, he's your fucking mate. This is Steve Kerr with Draymond. Look, we've seen Ben Simmons have a fucking sook about, Joel Embiid was mean to me. Doc Rivers didn't say nice things when I really shit down my leg. Meanwhile, Steve Kerr's like, yeah, Draymond's an idiot. What the fuck are you talking about? That was so good. Of course he deserved to get suspended 5 games. Did you see what he did? Steve Kerr, what a legend. Pantsing the night, that's the same thing, basically. I really enjoyed that, where it's just like Steve Kerr just going, Draymond, just what are you going to do? Jump on your podcast, you dickhead? Fuck off. All right, better than Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Isaiah Joe, former Philadelphia 76er. Awesome game today. Gave Ben Gordon's record a shake of the straight threes made without a miss. He went 7-7. I believe the record's 9 of 9. Very cool. 23 points today. Way better than Lonzo Ball, who has never hit 7 threes without missing before. Honourable mention for this one, Lonnie Walker IV. I believe in Lonnie Walker. God, he's fun to watch sometimes. He's like good for one of those random games once about every... Well, he's been really consistent lately because they don't have Cam Thomas. So he's like, hey, look, I'm like bigger Cam Thomas. And a little bit, look, he can really light it up. I'll give you 2/3 of that lighting it up. And you're like, thanks for coming, man. He's like, not a problem. But I do love me some Lonnie Walker. He was really good today. As I mentioned, what was it, 23 points, 2 of 7 from deep, 9 of 18 overall. Just had a couple of nice drives. Very good. What about a magic tweet of the day? Do we actually have one there, Jim? Let's find out. I'm going to go on the internet and find out. Oh, this is a tough one, isn't it? Irvin Magic Johnson hasn't tweeted. Apart from that weird one where he's just like doing other stuff. So, how about the Shaq tweet of the day? I enjoyed this one the other day. The older you get, the more you realize how precious life is. You have no desire for drama, conflict, or stress. You just want good friends, a cozy home, food on the table, and people who make you happy. I mean, spot the lie. Thanks, Shaq. Thanks. What do we say? Thanks, Shaq. And, of course, the easy one this week, Dickhead of the Week.
Dickhead of the Week!
A.K.A. the Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Week Award, because as it was put to me earlier in the week, like this is Draymond's award week on week until someone takes it from him. Like trying to choke out a 7'2" Frenchman and be like, he started it. It's like you literally tried to rip his head off his giant shoulders. What are you doing? You're old enough to know better, Draymond. Get a hold of yourself. You're a dickhead. You're the dickhead of the week. All right, really quickly, let's take stock of some stuff as well before we get into the, actually, we'll do it in yeah-nahs because it's easier just to go a bit of a yeah-nah right at the top. And we'll do that right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington. or commonly known as Wertho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some ENRs brought to you by the NBA Straya shop. Go get your merch, get your merch.
People, get your merch, get your merch. Wear it. Get your merch, get your merch. Get your merch, get your merch.
Yeah, do it. Get your merch. NBAstraya.com/shop. Go through the socials as well. There's pretty pictures there. Just click through. It'll take you through to the Shopify. Mugs and stubby holders are on their way. Keep an eye out for that. The dog is going well. Many would say too well. You know, I swear. It's like, I do wonder. It's like, he's been pretty quiet, the last month or so. He's pretty chill. And like, ever since he's gotten onto his dog shilling, caninsulin, there you go, for his diabetes, the little bloke is just going fucking apeshit. It's hilarious. He's like, oh, I'm back to my old self. And I'm like, yeah, good. Just barking at fucking everything that walks past the fence. I'm like, buddy, remember how we trained you out of that? He's like, nah, not anymore. I'm like, all right. Anyway, so thanks for all the kind messages. Reed Doggo, he's all right. He's doing good. Also had to deal with a very, very, very sick 4-year-old, as I mentioned on yesterday's show, I think. All the other parents out there will get this. It's like wildly terrifying and just shit when the kids are just like, I'm sick, and spewing everywhere. And you're like, yeah, this happens. And you just hope it's rare enough that you sort of go, oh, yeah, this happens. And it sucks each time. So he's all right there now. He's had a couple of quiet days. Squid number 1. Squid Dose. Oh, God. Had some dramas with him this week as well. That poor little guy couldn't take a shit. He was like, this sucks. And I'm like, yeah, me. I'll tell you what. Looks like it. But he got through it too. So it's been a hell of a week. These tins are well-deserved today. I'm going to go see the Bronx tonight. That's going to be fucking rad. Northcote Theatre. Cannot wait. All-time favourite bands. All right, let's do some taking stock, shall we? All right. Jim, are Boston and Denver the best 2 teams in the NBA as the standings show? Yeah, they are. I mean, in terms of like your actual sort of advanced stats and gear, like the offensive rating and stuff, like it feels like Boston's defensive rating is fucking amazing. It's like second best, and their offense is top 3 as well. If you're top 3 for offensive and defensive rating, you are a league fucking contender. You know? Like the fact that Denver's offensive rating is a little bit, I don't know, what is it, like 5th, I think. And they're 6th, I think, for defense. Like, it doesn't matter. The fact they're doing this without their starting point guard is chaos. Are the Wolves the biggest surprise so far? Yeah, because their defense is the best in the league, and they're still manufacturing enough on offense. They're sort of still mid-table for that, but that's all sort of driven by Ant-Man and Cat taking that little bit of a seat back, but fitting in a little bit more and going, okay, man, it's not my team anymore, but Ant-Man, I'm still really good. It's like, yeah, he is. They just need to get that sort of the real proper sort of 2-man game. I feel like they can work through that through the rest of the season. We'll be laughing here. Are India legit playoff team, Jim? Yeah, yeah. They're 7-4. They are scoring at a rate that's probably unsustainable, 126.5 points per game. That's really fucking good. The offensive rating is 122, as you'd expect. The defensive rating for them is the 3rd worst in the NBA too, though, however. So you do expect that to probably drop off a little bit as teams go, yeah, let's not let the Pacers completely fucking cook us, but at the same time, Halliburton is absolutely unreal. So swings and roundabouts, I think they'll come back to earth a little bit, but I think they're still probably, maybe not a play-off team, as we maybe probably see Cleveland drop. Who was that? Did you just say Cleveland? Cleveland! Jump back into the top 6. They're 5-6 at the moment. Because the East is a bit wobbly. You've got the Celtics at 9-2, the Sixers 8-3, the Heat 8-4 after today's win. Pacers and Bucks both 7-4. The Bucks defense is like obviously not very good, but it is back up to 24th. So it's at least not like 29th. So that's okay. The Knickerbockers are 6-5. So are the Hawks. So are the Magic. That feels about right for those teams. The Nets are 6-6. Cleveland, you feel like they can probably take a bit of a jump back up.
Cleveland!
Now that they've got all their dudes back. Garland, if he plays some more, it'd be just good for them to stay healthy. Mobley looked really good yesterday. The Raptors are 5-6. They sort of seem to be a question mark wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in some poutine. Get it? Because they're from Canada. The Bulls are a basket case. The Hornets 3-7. Wizards, Pistons, none of those are going to give it a shake. So it does feel like the line of demarcation is 11, and that's the Raptors. So I feel like there's one team that's probably going to miss out. My guess might actually be Brooklyn. Just as we sort of talked about today, like that lack of star power at the top, and Mikal Bridges not taking that one little bit of a big, one little step up is what I want to see from him. He's been very, very similar to last year. And it's there. It's there for the taking. It'd be good to see him take that step. So the East is a bit wonky, but I kind of feel like Indy are a top 10 team. The question is like whether or not they can sustain it, right? Because there are still some holes in that roster, especially defensively. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep up the offensive pace. In the West, I mean, are Dallas for real is a question I keep asking here because it's funny. 9-3. They're awesome. It's hilarious. 123.4 points a game. That's just patently fucking absurd. And it's awesome. Second best offensive rating in the league. Defensively, yeah, not that great. They're 25th, but still, if you're going to score 124 points a game, it's going to take some beating. And that's kind of it, right? I think the big thing for me, the big question after the sort of 3.5 weeks in, are Houston for real? Yeah, nah. I'm going to say no. I think they're the one team where you can probably see a little bit of a comeback to earth. They're 6-3. They've won 6 on the trot. This is the Ime Udoka, I'm going to kick your ass if you fuck up approach. I love it. But at the same time, they've got a couple of interesting games this weekend, which we'll talk about in the previews, and we might see just like a little bit of a hiccup here and there, and they might just fall back into the pack a hint. I think the Kings will keep on rolling. The Lakers are the Lakers. Amazingly, they have the minus 3.1 point differential. The Warriors are also the one to worry about. Like without Steph for a couple of games, without Draymond, the big concern, though, is like they need somebody else to step up next to Steph. And if Klay can't do it, who is it? Is it Moody? Is it Kuminga? It's definitely not Wiggins. Like, Chris Paul's older and shit. This is the tough part when you trade old for young and you get a steadying presence, but if the rest of your team can't hit fucking shots, Podziemski's been a godsend, but it might not be enough. The Suns are pretty handy. If they can get Beal and Booker and KD on the court at once, that'd be interesting. It is weird for me, though. The Suns do feel just like Brooklyn Nets West. You know? KD, Harden, and Kyrie just barely ever got on the court ever, as we all know. It's happening again. Pelicans are a weird one. But it's tough to judge them without CJ. Because they look very good with him on the court, with Spindles, with Zion, and then as soon as he disappeared, they just fucking tailspun. Clippers are hilarious, and we'll continue to talk about them. They're 3-7 heading into this weekend. I expect them to get a win with James Harden at some point. But they have lost 6 on the trot. It's absolutely hilarious. The San Antonio Banderas Spurs, the Blazers, the Grizzlies, yeah, rough as guts. Grizzlies are 2-9. 25 games without Ja. What could that record be? Because they're on pace basically for 5-20. I'm just saying. Yeesh. That'd be a pretty big hole to climb out of. But anyway, that's where we're at the moment. Denver, Boston, clear favourites. And then you've got the sort of next strata down after that. You've got Philly, Dallas, Minnesota, Miami. And then a whole bunch of sort of question marks of that Indy, Milwaukee, Knicks, Hawks, Magic, OKC, Houston, Sacramento, Lakers, etc. That's an interesting tier, that one. And I expect as we sort of go through this next round of the NBA Cup, we'll sort of see that sort of shake out a little bit more. It's going to be fun to talk about that on Monday. Quick couple of yeah-nahs. Dave Brown, hey, Jim Bob, do you reckon Bismack Biyombo is entitled to share YouTube royalties with a Tyler Cocktail for getting folded in the clear dunk of the year contender? John Collins absolutely deleted Biyombo on a dunk attempt the other day. So, yeah, he should get the YouTube. It's like, I'm in that video as well. I love that. Good one, Dave. And the last little bit, the updated rookie ranking ladder Number 5, Derek Lively. Number 4, Jordan Hawkins. 3, Osar Thompson. 2, Chet Holmgren. Number 1, Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, nah. I'd have Chet number 1. Wemby is very hit and miss so far. Chet has been super solid. Nice. All right, unpopular opinion of the day. Wrong one. Press the button, Jim.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I love the in-season tournament. I love it. 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 The courts of chaos. I don't even care if they're all fucking weird. You know it's not fun? Bitching and moaning and complaining about weird, fun, new shit. I think it's kind of fun and weird and new. And I love it. And I think it's only going to get better. Because this will roll around next year. Be like, oh yeah, the in-season tournament. That shit was awesome. How weird are these courts again? Maybe don't go blood red, but I still reckon we should let the away team choose the ball. You got 5 choices. You got the fucking like Mountain Dew green one. You got the ABA ball. You've got like a pure white one or something. I don't know. You got one in the colours of your team. That'd be cool and gnarly. And you got like a normal one. I love it. Maybe even a FIBA ball. I think they should just go a little bit wonky. It's the same fucking thing. It's a basketball. It doesn't have to be the same one every time, right? So let's go. I love the in-season tournament. I'm loving every second of it. It's going to be really fun to watch it. Hungover as shit tomorrow morning. All right, Outback Takehouse. It's Friday at Outback. You know what that means? Oh, yeah. 2-for-1 oil drum. No, 4-for-1 oil drum cans full of icy cold Foster's Lager. That's right. It might be Australian for beer, but really, we all know it's actually horse piss. Only at Outback. And today's Flame Grilled take is fuck Jay Williams saying KD is right there in the MVP conversation. Good luck. Oh, he's been scoring the shit out of it. Has he? Hey, Jay, do you actually watch basketball? Clearly not. Absolute mouth-breathing moron gear. He's like, KD and Tatum are the best 2 MVP candidates right now. Bullshit, you idiot. There is a bloke named Nikola Jokic out there, just saying he's got his team on the top of the West, and he's doing it without his fucking all-star point guard, you idiot. But at the same time, the Outback Takehouse today is if SGA were in a bigger market, he'd already be fucking leaps and bounds ahead as the MVP favourite. Only at Outback. To be honest, you're going to start seeing it pop off. If SGA keeps this up and OKC stick in the top 4 in the West, they're 8-4 at the moment. They've got a nice little lead there above Houston and Sacramento. And SGA is averaging just a, pretty lazy 29.3 points today. He had a bit of a quiet one, so that would probably could easily jump back over 30, given a good game. Just saying. SGA, bigger market. You look at the rest of that team, you go, yep, lots of good, young, fun talent. But what stirs that drink more than anybody? It's SGA, time after time. SGA for MVP. And, of course, you're now going to start seeing the Anthony Edwards for MVP gear as well, but just ignore it. It's Jokic for the moment. All right, let's do it. Let's do the Strayan Player Watch right after this one.
This is Shane Heal, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, really quick Strayan Player Watch today because we only had the mopped-up mum of the Weet-Bix kid in action today, but he was really good. 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist with 2 steals for Josh Giddey. 7-12 shooting, 3 of 3 from 3. Free for free. Very, very good. And just a quick whip around for the rest of the Aussies. Obviously, Simo out with a back injury. Maya Jama, tell you what, she broke his back and his heart. Paddy Thrills hasn't gotten off the bench all season. Rock'em, sock'em, block'em, jock'em, Landale's doing pretty good there in Houston. Shengun's playing too well. It's frustrating. Jingles, he's had a season high this week. Outside of that, he's hitting 1 shot a game. But he is a nice little connective bit of tissue there for that Magic team. Greeny had a rough game last time out starting, but he's been very, very good for the Mavs, so is Sexton. It does feel like they might be showing off Sexton as a bit of a trade piece, but at the same time, he's been pretty good. Dyson Daniels, still learning on the job, and that's fine, because he's still very young, and second year. So Aussie Matty T and the Grim Reether, the Great Barrier Reef himself. Do up, bop bop do up, bib it up do up, bop bop do up. The Great Barrier Reef, love it. Great Barrier Reef. Just saying, per 36 minutes, he is averaging 22, 5 and 5. Do up, bop bop do up. Give it up, bop, do up. Love it. Absolutely love the Great Barrier Reef. And I'd like to thank the Portland Trail Blazers for stealing my nickname. Shane Hill, shoot. That was weird. It's getting weird. Give us a shout out, Blazers. Come on. Do right by us. Come on, bruv. All right. Time for a Shane Hill shoot a shot, light 'em up award.
He threw it down. Are you healed? Are you healed?
Praise the Lord, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord, for I'm healed. It is the Shane Hill
Shooters shoot.
Shoot Your Shot, Light 'em Up award.
I will tell you what. Isaiah Joe is obviously the shoot your shot, light 'em up award today because he went 7 to 7 from downtown. Bruh, that is pretty good. Like 7 to 7 from downtown, not missing, as I mentioned, the Ben Gordon game. 9 to 9 is pretty ridiculous as well. So, love that. But Isaiah Joe, he is the sort of dude who will pop up every so often. And everybody be like, what the fuck is going on here? So, yeah, very cool. Very nice. I love Ben Gordon as well, BT Dub. Just his swagger was amazing. Like, if he was like, I don't know, 3 inches taller, MJ. He and Charlie Villanueva going to the Detroit Pistons is still one of the funniest moments in NBA history where Joe Dumars is like, fuck it. I'm aiming for mediocre. So good. All right, Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check in. As long as I can find the music. Let's do it. All right. Patty did have a actual update. I did see. Let's go. Patty. It was nice. There we go. Pacific. Oh, he's just doing a shout out for the Missos label. Straight Pacific. That looks pretty good. I'd buy that. It was very good of our man Chris Anstey to cut up yesterday's shout out on the Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in, which was just turned into a schmozzle of going, fuck it. Chris Anstey's doing up a pub and just giving a big shout out. So that was fun. Appreciate it, Chris. Right. Good stuff, Patty. God. He is going through it, I reckon, at the moment. We've talked about landing spots for Patty before. I still reckon him back on San Antonio would be fantastic. You know? He'd also be really, really handy on somewhere like Miami. He'd fit in really well with the culture. They talk about culture. Go get Patty Mills. Just saying. All right, let's do some game previews and picks for a big weekend. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jimmy. How's it all going? Not bad. We went 1 of 2 on the picks today. Missed the Brooklyn one, hit the OKC one. Tomorrow we have awesome NBA Cup gear. We've got Milwaukee at Charlotte. This is a weird one. The Bucks are the worst team in the NBA covering the line, so I'm actually going to go Charlotte plus 7.5 at home. They've had a little bit of a fire lit under them. I do worry about the Bridges being back aspect of this, but he does give them at least another weapon to throw at the Bucks. The Bucks will probably have Dame and Giannis for this, but at home, I expect Charlotte just to put up a little bit of a fight, so I'll take the Hornets plus 7.5. PJ Hamilton Washington's been playing his ass off. No Terry Rozier, so it means a lot of LaMelo, but that's probably okay against Milwaukee because this is the thing. You can carve them up on defense if your point guard's pretty fucking good, and Charlotte have got LaMelo, so kind of here for it. So give me Charlotte plus 7.5. The Knicks go to Washington. Mr. Randall goes to Washington. Julius Randle feels like the most Washington wizard who's never been a wizard, doesn't he? The Knicks, minus 6.5. I'm going to take them in the Wizards' house because the Wizards are horrible. And the Knicks have been showing a little bit of late. If they get RJ Barrett back as well, that should really solidify that. But Brunson, Randle, the defense, they should be way too good for this horrible Wizards team. San Antonio hosts Sacramento, and the Kings are 6.5-point favorites on the road in San Antonio. I'm taking the Kings minus 6.5. They got De'Aaron Fox back. He looked like he had not missed a fucking beat. So between he and Sabonis up against Wembanyama and co, I really like the Kings to put the pedal to the metal. Because if you give the Kings like an inch, they'll take a mile. And the San Antonio Spurs defense, what is that? It's shit. That's the answer. I can actually tell you just how shit it is. It is the second worst in the NBA at 119.4 with a defensive rating. And yeah, that's not good, man. It's just not good, eh? So yeah, not great there, bruv. So I think the Kings will run right over the top of Spurs. Boston-Toronto is an interesting matchup. Most specifically because the line is 6.5 points. And I don't mind Toronto in this. Getting 6.5 points at home, if they've got a full complement, I'm good for Toronto. If they have OG, if they have Gary, I'm all right with the 6.5, and I'll take Toronto at home plus 6.5. I think they lose, but they can push Boston and probably lose by 4 or 5. See how we go. Interesting matchup, though. See exactly where both teams are at. Philly at Atlanta. Philly are 0.5-point underdogs. I don't know why. It seems weird. It means I'm going to check the Philadelphia injury list right now, in fact, and see what's going on. Because if that definitely feels like a Maxey or no, they all look like they're playing. That's pretty weird. Maxey and Embiid should smash Atlanta. I just can't see anybody in that Atlanta team slowing down Embiid that much. Even with Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu, it's still pretty thin on the ground. So give me Philly, the way they're playing at the moment. Detroit plus 8.5 in Cleveland. With Darius Rucker, Judy Garland looking a little bit, I think it's a game time decision. If he doesn't go, I actually don't mind Detroit plus 8.5. They've got enough sort of big bodies to throw at that Cleveland front line of go the throw Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And Detroit play with a little bit of chutzpah sometimes. Cade Cunningham up against either Garland and Mitchell or just Mitchell. I kind of don't mind it. So give me the plus 8.5. I think they'll push them. They probably won't win because Detroit aren't winning too many games. I'm just saying. But they only lost by 6 to Atlanta. They only lost by 11 to the Bulls. Lost by 8 to the Sixers as well. So, yeah, 8.5. I'll take that from Detroit in Cleveland. Denver go to New Orleans, minus 4.5-point favorites. I'm going to take Denver on the road in New Orleans, minus 4.5. With no point guard in the form of CJ McCollum, the Pelicans sort of steadied the ship, but they're still pretty vulnerable, so I'll take Denver minus 4.5. Orlando go to Chicago. It's a repeat of yesterday's awesome Chaos Paolo Banchero game winner, where apparently he traveled, but at the same time, Caruso had fouled Franz Wagner on a shot just before that, so swings and roundabouts. I'm going to go Chicago at home, minus 1.5, just to get the revenge win. Revenge! Phoenix minus 4.5 in Utah. Utah defensively, you're a bit of a train wreck at the moment. Phoenix with KD. Booker, I believe, again, was a game time decision for Utah. Let's just check that because it did cross the timeline. Let's find out. He had 31-5 when he came back yesterday, so you'd hope that he'd be good. Let's have a look. Anything, nothing. Okay, good stuff. All right, game time decision. I reckon he goes. I reckon he'll be fine. And I reckon Phoenix can handle that 4.5-point line in Utah. Lakers minus 7.5 in Portland. If they have their full complement, they should cover that line. If it was any higher, I'd probably take Portland just because they play pretty tough. And the Grim Reaper, he's going to go pretty hammer and tongs at the Lakers. You know that. Outplay DeAndre dominating again. Outplay Anthony Davis. That's what the Great Barrier Reef does. But for the moment, I'll take the Lakers minus 7.5. The Clippers! I think they finally... The good thing is this is a Harden Bowl. It's the Clippers at home, minus 7.5 against Houston. That's a big line. Houston are playing really well, but I do think this is the one game where it clicks for the Clippers, and I think they win this one and get off the schneid. I just tend to think Harden against his old team, Rusty against one of his old teams, Kawhi and Paul George. They'll come up with the fire on this one. At home, they should win that one and win it handily. So I'll take the 7.5 for the Clippers. Sunday, the Knickerbockers go to Charlotte. Both teams on a back-to-back, having just played the day before. I don't mind Charlotte in that one, actually. It's a sneak bit of a win. I think the Bucks beat Charlotte on Saturday, but I think Charlotte turn around and maybe sneak one past the Knicks on Sunday. The Knicks defense, it just might be a bit of a tough one where they just can't quite contain LaMelo. Minnesota at New Orleans. I'm going to take the Wolves with the Pelicans on a back-to-back. Even at home, I'm going to take the Wolves and Anthony Edwards and Co to win that one. Miami at Chicago. I'm going to take the Heat with the Bulls on a back-to-back as well. Miami showed today that, they're just going to put some teams in the blender, and that's going to be the Bulls. Dallas at Milwaukee. Milwaukee on a back-to-back, having played in Charlotte the day before. I think Dallas can run roughshod over them. So I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks in Milwaukee. It will be Algonquin for the good land, but not on Sunday. Memphis go to San Antonio. This should be a win for Memphis. It should be. I think they can do that. Marcus Smart and Co. should be too good. OKC at Golden State. I'm going to take the Thunder to win again in San Francisco and really put the scare into the Warriors. Monday, we start at 7 a.m. with Philly at Brooklyn. I'll take the Sixers in that one. The sheer size of Embiid in this pretty weird Ben Simmons bowl without Ben Simmons playing again. I like Philly. Detroit at Toronto. Toronto should smash them because Dwayne Casey's not coaching the Detroit Pistons anymore. So Detroit don't have a hope. So just keep an eye on the line. Just saying. It might be the Dwayne Casey legacy. Indy hosting Orlando. The Pacers, I think, should have a little bit too much on offense. I talk about that offense a lot. I think they can probably blow the doors off this Orlando team, who can score when pushed, but not at the rate Indy can. Cleveland host Denver. This game is awesome. I actually don't mind Cleveland to get the win against the Nuggets. The Cavs at home with Allen, with Mobley. The only problem might be just like the sheer size of Denver on the wings with them. Oh, yeah, I might switch that. Denver might be too good. No, I'll stick with Cleveland. Piss it off. Let's go. Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., the size on the wings there should probably bother Cleveland, but if Mitchell and Co. can get going, Cleveland should win that. Sacramento go to Dallas. Dallas on a back-to-back. I actually like the Kings in in Dallas against the Mavs. That is two fun offenses going at it. Boston in Memphis. The Celtics should win that in the Let's All Pay Tribute to Marcus Smart game. But the Grizzlies will have played the night before in San Antonio, so I expect Celtics to win that one. Phoenix at Utah again. Like this, it's a little baseball series because they play on Saturday and then again on Monday. Phoenix should win both of those, I reckon. OKC at Portland. OKC on a back-to-back. Would not surprise me if Portland push them and cover the line, but I think OKC still win. And then Houston at the Lakers. Having played the Clippers the day before, what have the Houston Rockets been up to in LA? Too much. Give me the Lakers in the late game on Monday afternoon. And there you go. That's the entire weekend picked and previewed for you. That is what we do here on NBA Straya. We do it daily. So we'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facebook, IG, all the good stuff. We're all over the socials. We'll have more videos popping off. I'm going to really ramp that up throughout the season as well. Check out NFL Straya with myself and Gaz. Good one this week. On Wednesday night, it went up. A bit of a late one. We usually do those Tuesdays, but a lot of stuff going on. Get her at NBAStraya.com/shop and get your merch. Check us a rating and review on your podcast app. Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever you use. Even on your Android phone, your weird Android phones. Rate, review, and star it. It does help out. Come on, I don't ask for much. Do I? I really don't. Big thanks go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out the new band House Hats, as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa Section 8, Green, and Dozers for all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple Day and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Remember, NBA Straya Sports Australian bands, so should you. All right, we'll close out the week with a cooking with Bainesy, and we will catch you on Monday, dickheads. Have a great weekend. I love your guts. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And how good's the NBA Cup? Later, hosen.
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
And now it's time for
Cooking with Beansy, with your host, Aaron Bangers Beans. All right. G'day. Yes, how are you all? Oh, look at you over there. I see you over there again, Cheryl. Yes, we know that you love it. Oh, this is great. Yeah, g'day. Welcome to Cooking with Beansy. I am your host, Aaron Bangers Beansy. All right, so this here episode, we're going to whip up one of my absolute favourite Australian staples. You can have it whenever as well, at night, for dinner, after a big night on the Terps. It's that absolute Aussie classic. It is Hawaiian pizza. Oh, yes, that's right. I love me some Hawaiian pizza, and it's easy as to make, mate. I mean, it definitely helps keeping up this physique, if you know what I mean. I reckon I probably cook about 3 of these bloody things a week, you know what I'm saying? And also, hey, just for yous out there as well, don't bloody listen to anyone who says shit about pineapple on pizza. They can go and do what I tell every centre in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. They can go fuck themselves, all right? You can put whatever the fuck you want on pizza. It's pizza. All right, so anyway, Hawaiian pizza is bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your soupy and grab yourself a pizza base. I love the spongier, thick ones, you know. Grab a thing of tomato paste. Now, don't bother with the fancy pants shit with basil or oregano in it unless you want to be like all fancy pants and shit. Because then you just grab a bunch of shredded ham from the deli. Grab a bag of shredded cheese. Now, you can have mozzarella, cheddar, home brand, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It's just bloody cheese. And the key ingredient, a tin of pineapple chunks. Now, it's pretty easy to whip this bad boy up, so let's get to it. All right, here we go. Now, just whip your base out. There you go. All right, now smother it with the tomato paste. Well, yep, there you go. Smooth her out a bit. Just make sure it's all over the entire thing. Now, dump your ham on there. Yep, all this shredded ham. Now, get your fingers amongst that. Shove that to the edges. There you go. Spread that out nice and even. Yep, there you go. All right, now cover this liberally with the dead pig. Come on, man. You got to put the ham everywhere. You just need heaps and heaps and heaps of ham. Just make sure it's the nice shredded stuff, though. All right, now drain your pineapple into the sink, or you can drain it into a cup and drink that pineapple juice, you know. What bloke doesn't like a cup of pineapple juice, you know what I'm saying, ladies? There we go. Now, fang the chunks of pineapple on there. Just put it everywhere, you know, just throw it around. And then cover up the entire bloody thing with your shredded cheese. All right. Now, we've got this oven over here. Just wang her in there in the oven. There you go, just for a good 15, 20 minutes at about 220 degrees Celsius. None of that Fahrenheit bullshit. Now, sit back, grab a tin, and let her cook. Oh, doesn't that bloody well smell delicious? All right, now here's one we made a little bit earlier. So you can see once it's browned a bit on the edges and all your cheese is all melty and nice, you whip her out, you chop her up into slices, and Bob is your bloody pizza-loving uncle. Now, give it a sec to cool down before you chow down. Don't burn your bloody tongue because that cheese will be hot as buggery, eh? So, all right, now it's there. Just get your bloody munch on. And that is an absolute bloody ripper of a meal. The best bit is, and this will impress everyone, right? You can cook it whenever you want. Mates, the missus, kids, everyone bloody loves Hawaiian pizza. And if they don't, just give them the old bangers, don't argue, and go tell them to cook their own bloody pizza. Because this is just bloody delicious, mate. All right, how easy was that? Cool, there you go. That is absolutely unreal. Love me some Hawaiian pizza. All right, so that's it for this week. Tune in next week for a new recipe, and we'll see yous then on the next episode of Cooking with Beansy.